Ravens fans, what I'm about to tell you could completely change the look of our team for next season. There are some big changes ahead that could directly impact the future of the team. And the worst part is, some of them are already very close to happening. Are we about to lose key pieces of our roster? Some crucial names, from the offensive line to the defense, are at risk, and these potential departures could affect our ability to compete next season. Stay tuned until the end, because the decisions the Ravens have to make could completely transform the team, and you won't want to miss the details of this urgent and dramatic situation. Go Ravens! The Ravens' offensive line is critical for ensuring Lamar Jackson's protection and allowing the offense to function efficiently. Right now, two key players on the line, Ronnie Stanley and Patrick McCree, are under question. Stanley, one of the top talents in his position when healthy, has been affected by recurring injuries, raising doubts about his future with them. Additionally, his hefty contract is a concern, as the team needs to balance the finances to build a competitive roster. His stay isn't guaranteed, which brings a major dilemma for the Ravens. McCree, on the other hand, stands out for his versatility and ability to play multiple positions on the offensive line. This flexibility is valuable, as it allows the team to adjust the formation based on the needs. However, the financial impact of keeping McCree can't be ignored either. The cost of keeping him on the roster could be a limiting factor, especially when the team needs space for other signings and extensions. Losing McCree, though less discussed, would also have a significant impact because his versatility would be hard to replace. If the Ravens decide to let Stanley and McCree go, the team would be forced to find alternatives to fill those gaps. Keeping a strong offensive line is essential to protecting Lamar Jackson, who relies on that solid foundation to succeed on the field. Lamar's future is directly tied to how the offensive line performs, and losing two crucial players like Stanley and McCree would mean a major loss of stability. For the team, this situation would require quick changes and tough decisions to avoid jeopardizing the development of the offense. And while the offensive line faces this potential reconfiguration, the defense is also in a delicate situation, with other areas under scrutiny, such as the defensive secondary. The team may need to rethink not only Lamar's protection, but also how to secure themselves against opposing offenses. The Ravens' defense could also undergo significant changes, especially in the secondary. Darius Washington, a name that has been standing out among the younger players, is at risk of leaving the team. Although Washington is still developing, he has shown enough potential to be a key piece in the future of the defense. His ability to cover receivers and make critical plays could have a considerable impact on the team's plans. Losing a promising talent like him would surely leave a hole in the defense. The secondary is an increasingly crucial area as opposing teams heavily invest in powerful passing attacks. The Ravens need solid coverage to compete against quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, who have shown great ability to exploit defensive weaknesses. Washington's departure could weaken the team's depth, forcing them to find solutions through free agency or the draft. Finding a quality replacement for someone with so much potential would be a difficult and costly task. Without a strong secondary, the Ravens' defense could struggle to keep opposing offenses under control. The pressure on safeties and cornerbacks would increase, and linebackers would need to provide even more support and coverage. This would directly impact the overall balance of the defense, which is essential for keeping opponents out of the scoring zone. With so many uncertainties about Washington's future, the situation is even more precarious, making the need for alternatives even more urgent. And while the secondary needs to be reassessed, the linebackers are also under pressure to effectively support the defense. Washington's departure could just be the beginning of a broader defensive overhaul. The Ravens' defense could suffer an even deeper loss with the possible departure of Malik Harrison. Harrison has been a solid presence in the middle of the defense, especially against the running. His ability to stop runs and disrupt running back attacks has made him an indispensable player. However, like other players on the team, he is also facing financial difficulties and the need for adjustments to the roster. Harrison's departure would be a significant blow to the front seven. The defense against the running game, one of the Ravens' strengths, could be impacted by Harrison's absence. With the AFC North Division known for teams that prioritize the running game, like the Cleveland Browns, losing such a solid linebacker would be a major setback. Furthermore, the defense would need to find a replacement who can provide the same physical presence and consistency that Harrison brought to Baltimore. This would require a significant effort in the draft or even an emergency signing, which could, in turn, divert resources from other critical areas. With Harrison's departure, the Ravens would become more reliant on less experienced players or, in the worst-case scenario, replacements who don't offer the same performance guarantee. The chemistry of the defensive unit could also be affected, especially in a position like linebacker, where cohesion and communication are vital for success. For the team, this would mean more challenges in planning for the next season. And while the linebacker core prepares for potential changes, another area of the team is also being closely reviewed: the special teams. The departure of Harrison and other key players could have repercussions that directly affect the performance of the specials. All right, we've passed the halfway mark of the video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't hit the like button yet. It's really important for YouTube to keep recommending my videos to you, and by liking this video, you help me continue bringing content your way. So go ahead, give that like, it's free. Now let's keep going. Special teams, often underrated, may be one of the most affected if some of these changes take place. Tylan Wallace, known for his crucial contribution in returns and kick coverage, is a name that could leave the roster. Wallace has had a significant impact on how the Ravens control the field, whether through kickoff returns or punt returns. His presence might seem understated, but it's an important factor in creating field advantages for the team. Losing Wallace would create a gap in special teams, which are essential for determining field position during games. The team would have to rely on new or less experienced players to fill this void, which could affect field position throughout an entire season. The impact of special teams cannot be underestimated, as many NFL victories are decided by simple plays like a decisive punt return or efficient kick coverage. Without Wallace, the Ravens would have to find another way to maintain effectiveness in special teams, especially in a competitive division where field position could be key to a win. This might mean giving more opportunities to less tested players or investing resources in bringing new alternatives to the team. For the Ravens, ensuring the continued excellence in special teams would be a significant challenge. And while Wallace's departure could harm special teams, losing Patrick Ricard in the running game would be an even more impactful transformation. The uncertainty surrounding Patrick Ricard, the Ravens' fullback, puts a vital part of the team's running game at risk. Ricard, who plays an essential role in the running game, is not just a blocker, but also a short yardage threat. His ability to create space for running backs like J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards makes him a key piece in Baltimore's offensive system. However, with the NFL moving further away from the use of fullbacks, his high cost could be a factor pushing the Ravens to look for cheaper alternatives. Losing Ricard would have a direct impact on the strength of the running game. Without him, the team would need to find ways to cover his absence, either with another player in a similar role or by adjusting the offensive formation. For the Ravens, this would mean the need to find a substitute who could offer the same level of physical impact, something that is not always easy to find on. Additionally, this change would force the Ravens to adjust their strategies, considering that the running game has been one of the team's main weapons in recent seasons. If Ricard doesn't stay, the Ravens' offense would face a dilemma: lose stability in running plays or try to innovate in search of alternative solutions. This situation requires quick and effective decisions, as any misstep in this area could directly affect the offensive. For Lamar Jackson and the running backs, losing this crucial piece could mean greater difficulty advancing consistently. And while the running game goes through this possible restructuring, the future of the entire roster is at stake, with the need for quick and effective decisions to maintain competitiveness. If the mentioned losses actually occur, the Ravens would face a true reconfiguration of their roster. The offensive line, defense, special teams, and even the running game would go through changes that could significantly alter the team's dynamics. These modifications would require the Ravens to make quick and strategic decisions to maintain competitiveness in a highly contested division. Efficient roster management would become even more crucial to ensure the team doesn't lose strength during this transition. With so many key positions at risk, the pressure on the front office would be enormous. The team would have to deal with a series of losses in vital areas while ensuring new players are recruited or developed efficiently. The draft and the transfer market would be critical to rebuilding the team, and any mistake in choosing substitutes could jeopardize the 2025 season. The key to the Ravens' success will be how they manage to turn these losses into opportunities, maintaining the competitiveness that characterizes the franchise. Furthermore, the impact of these changes goes beyond the simple replacement of players. Losing leaders in areas such as the offensive line and defense could shake the cohesion of the group, something vital in a team that seeks consistency and discipline across all sectors. Adapting would be a challenging but necessary process if the Ravens want to continue being one of the most competitive teams in the NFL. With all these uncertainties, The future of the Ravens is at stake. How will the team handle these transformations and maintain its level of competitiveness? So, the situation is quite complicated for the Ravens. If these changes happen, the impact will be enormous on our team, from the offensive line to the defense and specials. The franchise will have to reinvent itself to maintain competitiveness, and the future of the 2025 roster depends on the decisions that will be made in the coming months. What do you think of these potential departures? Do you think the team will be able to recover and reinforce these areas? Leave your opinion in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated on everything about the Ravens and not miss any important news. See you next time.